Hey guys, what's up? We're here with some Summoner's War. I was asked if I could make an early game Giants B10 team without using Vero. So that is what I have done. This was a really fun thing for me to do, so if you guys have any other requests for videos, please keep them coming. I really enjoy that. So we're going to go ahead and start the run while I talk, because it is a slower run. I'm also going to say as a disclaimer, before we get into this, if you want to farm Giants B10 as an early game player, you really ought to use Vero. It's going to make it so much easier on you. However, if you don't want to, or you can't do it, or for whatever reason, you just don't, this is what I feel like is probably the easiest to put together team to make it happen reliably for you. So, you've got 3 Nat 2s here, and 2 Nat 3s. And both of the Nat 3s are farmable. So, it doesn't get much easier to obtain than that. Let's just talk about the team real quick. We've got Bernard. What Bernard is here to do is alleviate the need for speed around the team. You still want to try to get a little speed on your monsters. That's a good habit to get into. But as an early game player, it might be difficult. So Bernard is here to balance that out a little bit. The fact that you might not be able to do that. Bernard has his attack bar boost, his 30% attack bar boost, and his attack speed increase. And those are in the same skill. That's his 3rd skill. And then his 2nd skill is an attack break and a defense break, which is always good. Never a problem. So, that's what Bernard is here to do. We have Shannon. Now, I've talked about Shannon before in other videos. It's not a secret that I love Shannon. I think she's an incredible monster for a lot of things. And here she is again. She has an attack buff and a defense buff in her 3rd skill that lasts for 3 turns, which is great. She's got an AoE attack speed reduction on her 2nd skill, and she's got glancing on her 1st skill. Every time Shannon moves, she's highly contributing to the team. She's just so good. Love her. The amount of utility you get out of this 2-star monster is insane. I've also said before that I'm an advocate for Despair Shannon. For here, I'm going to say it's mandatory. You're going to need her to be proccing stuns occasionally on these waves. Because believe it or not, the hard part of this is not the giant, it's the waves. It's getting through the waves to the giant. And you're going to need her to be doing a little bit of control on the waves to make that possible. We have Konamiya. Konamiya on his 3rd skill has a full team, full cleanse, and an AoE heal in the same skill. That's great, because you're going to want to keep any harmful effects off of you, but particularly defense break is going to be a deal breaker here. The longer you keep defense break on your team, the worse shape you're going to be in, so that's great. Kona can also stun with his 1st skill, which is nice. He won't do it super often, but it's nice when it happens. And then Resurge fills up an ally's attack bar. Kona's basically going to use that on whoever has the lowest amount of attack bar when he gets that skill up. So it's really nice when he uses it with Shannon, and that keeps her pep talk off cooldown. As longer she can keep pep talk up, the better. We have Kona's another example of a monster that's going to have to be on a certain rune set. He's going to have to be on Violent. Now, don't let that freak you out too bad. You can get the runes that he needs from Dragons B5 or Dragons B7. Sometimes you get lucky in World Boss. Sometimes you get lucky in the shop. You can obtain Violent runes. And you'll see when we go through these runes, I didn't use spectacular runes. I tried to do this with as reasonable runes as I could. I didn't want to say you could do it with these monsters and then have crazy runes on them. So you'll see when we go through the runes, nobody here is spectacular. Only one of the monsters is 6-starred. I tried to be as reasonable with this as I could and still have it be successful. So anyway, Darian. Darian's here for the passive that reduces the incoming damage for the team. He's also got an attack break and a defense break in his kit, which is, again, never a bad thing. And then we've got Ramagos. Ramagod. Ramagos is here as insurance, basically. Ramagos is here for when shit gets bad at the giant. Because, as you can see, he hasn't really taken a bunch of damage. He hasn't really been in much danger. He's just kind of hanging out, waiting till we need him. So, that's what's going on here. 9 is on Vampire. but it's not necessary. It's just what he's on, and I didn't want to change him up. So you'll see that his stats are not spectacular when we get to him. I haven't really powered up his runes and done a whole bunch with him, but he is on a vampire set. Again, not necessary. You can make a much better Ramagos than mine is right now with full energy, so keep that in mind. But yeah, he's here as insurance. Usually, towards this point, the Giant's going to hit somebody, he might take somebody out. Ramagos is going to be able to clean it up at this point. Like, we're guaranteed to win now. So, now we just wait till they kill the Giant, and we can go take a look at their runes. You can see kind of what you're going to have to do to make this team work. I really did try to be as reasonable with this as I could, and still have it be successful, so hopefully you don't look at any of this and say, that's ridiculous. I don't think you will. None of it's really too bad. We made it through with all of our monsters. It's a surprisingly reliable team. I was impressed with them, actually, especially considering only one of them 6-starred, and with the rune quality you're about to see. I'm really surprised at how reliable this team is. It's a slower run, 5 to 6 minutes, but again, it's your first team, you're an early game player, and you didn't even fuse Vero. So I don't want to... No complaining about the time. No complaining about the time. Alright, let's take a look at our runes. We'll look at Shannon, who is our only 6-star monster in this run. We're sitting at about, what, 15,000 HP. She's got a decent amount of speed on her, and then we broke 50 accuracy. Nothing crazy going on. As I said, she is going to have to be on Despair, so I'll click through her runes real quick. You can pause and take a look at the subs if you want, but basically, with Shannon, you're looking for speed, HP, and accuracy in the subs. Defense doesn't hurt, but... that's basically what you're looking for, and you're going speed, HP, HP. As you can see, I got a defense rune there, because it fits, it completed the set, and it kind of serves the same purpose. It kind of sucks when there's a defense break on her, because then she doesn't have as much HP to survive the defense break, but she made it to the run, so what are you going to do? Let's take a look. We didn't even use Bella. We didn't even use Bella for that. You kidding me? Konamiya. Konamiya is another one that he's going to have to be on Violent, but you'll see as we click through these runes, there's nothing fancy going on. We'll take a look here. We're at about, I don't know, 16, close to 17,000 HP. Not much speed at all. Nothing. There's nothing impressive about this Konamiya. And he's only 5-star. Nothing impressive. He's on Violent Endure. Doesn't have to be on Endure. I am going to say he needs to be on Violent, though. So we've got a speed rune. Through. We've got a 4-star HP rune. Was that no, okay, yeah. And then, and I didn't even power up that rune. So there's speed and HP in this rune that would have helped him, and I didn't even power up the rune. So he is on Violent, and that makes a lot of early game players cringe, but again, as you can see, there's nothing spectacular going on here. Just get a Violent set on him and match those stats, which is not going to be hard for you to do. You can get better stats than that, is what I'm saying. And 6-star him. If you won't regret 6-star him. Ramagos, you want to push as close to 20,000 as you can get. If you can surpass it, great. If you put him on full energy, that's going to be much easier. I promise you, he doesn't have to be on Vampire for this. Other than that, none of his stats have been touched. Just HP. That's all you need to worry yourself with. Ramagos needs to stay alive. He needs to be able to do a shit ton of damage with Clean Shot. That's what he's there for. He's there as your backup. We'll click through his runes real quick. I deliberately didn't power up these runes. We've got a 4-star rune right there. Another 4-star rune. And again, he's all HP. As much, another 4-star rune. As much HP as you can get on him. That's the idea. Full energy. You'll be fine. Let's see, who have we not looked at? We did Shannon, we did Kona, we did Ramagos. We need to do Darien and Bernard. You've seen my Darien. I use him in a lot of these teams. That passive is really helpful for the earlier game teams. Again, you've seen all this before if you've watched any of my other team building videos. But 18,000 HP. That's really it. A little bit of defense. You can put him on full energy. You can put him on full guard. Mine's on Revenge. Not necessary, just because that's what ended up. I say that every video, but we'll click through. I know there are a lot of 6-star runes. Don't let that freak you out, because you can do this with 5-star runes and even 4-star runes. they're not powered up very far, and there's a resistance rune slot 6. So even if you've got 4 and 5-star runes, and he's runed right, which is really, and it's 2, 4, 6, you want to have 2 HP percentage runes and 1 defense percentage rune. However you want to mix that up is on you, but that's the idea. But just worry about the stats. Don't worry about the fact that those are 6-star runes. Worry about the stats. And these stats are very lackluster. There's nothing special about any of that. So that's what you want to be worried about. And then my Bernard is the only monster on this team that I feel like an early game player would look at and go, how the fuck do I do that? And that's because of the speed. I don't expect you to be able to match that speed. The good news for you is you don't have to match that speed. Just push as close to 200 as you can get. If you can surpass 200, fine. But that speed's not necessary. You just need to be faster than the monsters in the dungeon to make sure that your team keeps getting first turn. That's really all that you need to worry about. My HP is super low. Accuracy over 40, meh. But we'll take a look at his runes. He's obviously needs to be on Swift, and he does need to be your fastest monster. And then you want as much HP and accuracy as you can get on him. And that's really it. Speed, HP, accuracy, and the subs. I need to put an HP rune there, but the reason I don't is because that's where all my accuracy is coming from. But you can put him on Swift Focus as an early game player and go speed, HP, and you'll be fine. And that is it. That's the team. So again, I don't think any early game player, if you look at that and go, there's no fucking way I can make that happen, it's too early for you to be worried about Giants B10, because nothing here is spectacular, and I did that on purpose. I wanted it to be obtainable. I didn't want to say you could do it with these monsters and then have a bunch of plus 15 6-star runes on them. So this is very doable for an early game player. And if you don't want to farm Vero, or you can't farm Vero for whatever reason. And that's really about it. So I hope this helps you put a team together. I do appreciate the requests. Keep them coming. I really enjoyed it. And other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.